Well, hello there. Fancy meeting you in this dust collecting YouTube channel. We're resurrecting it. We're bringing it back because TikTok's kind of a garbage fire for reasons I'm not going to go into, but you're probably joining me because you're one of the 35,000 amazing people who have been joining me on TikTok for the past year and a half or change. But they've been kind of terrible lately, and we need a space where we can reliably connect with each other and where the abuse system isn't abused. Yeah, hi, I'm Cheryl, aka Funny Godmother, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel, which is now no longer sleeping. And this is where my content is going to live. I have no idea what the frequency of updates is going to be. That depends on you, how much you engage. Do you follow me or do you not? That's a question. Hit the follow button if you want more videos, because I'm not updating to an empty channel. But we're going to see whether or not we can move folks over from our TikTok channel. So, Magic Mafia, that's what we call our community here, Funny Godmother's channel. Speaking of magic, I want to introduce you to the wide variety of things we're going to talk about here, because TikTok has this way of only showing people one category of thing forever, and YouTube's not like that. So just so you know, or if you're new here, stumbling upon this, hi, again, Cheryl, aka Funny Godmother. I am a variety streamer. I am a professional user experience designer, formerly a video game designer and producer. I am a professional actress, and a lot of other things. I am disabled. I have lots of sides. I'm an author. Yeah, all kinds of things. So, what kinds of things are we going to talk about? Why do people follow me on TikTok? Well, a lot of people follow me on TikTok because they liked my tales from video game development stories. And so you know which ones I worked on. The first one I worked on was The Sims Making Magic, the very last expansion pack for The Sims 1, which was like 2D and like had Comic Sans in it. So this is like OG Sims, y'all. And I worked on this. And I was a production intern for it, and I wrote game text, and I helped with research and testing and all kinds of other stuff. So, we could talk a little bit about this. I'm not going to walk you through my whole game resume history, but the ones people were most excited about, unsurprisingly, the one that people are really excited about, even though I wasn't officially on the game team, I am in the credits for Sims 2 because I wrote like 50 or 60,000 words of game text for Sims 2. A lot of object text and a lot of career text. So, including the Mr. Barely Butts chair, which, I might have engraved on my tombstone. I'm not sure. But, so that's, and recently, when backing up a hard drive, I found one of the Excel sheets we use to submit our work. So in a future video, I'll probably be talking through some of that. So if you're interested, you should follow me so you find out when I post that video. Now, I didn't, also at Maxis, I worked on the Herbs, which was groundbreaking Game Boy and launch title for the DS. Very terribly named, and I have a story about that too. If you're new to my channel, you probably haven't seen it, and it directly involves me, so you should follow so you can hear that story, because I'll probably retell it. But this game consumed my life for a year, and we have lots of stories about this. Also, the reason I moved to Seattle, there's a lot to unpack in the Herbs. Then, when I moved out here, I ran game development teams for 3 years as a lead producer. Narnia for the Game Boy Advance was one of my design babies. I was the producer, but I also was the game designer for this game. I've got the whole game design document in my drawer over here. The whole concept of the game, the chapter structure, the cooling and heating mechanic, that was all me. So we could talk about that. And then, one of my real design baby, Disney Friends. This one I was on from pitch to ship. I was the lead producer on this game. So the concept was me, and then we hired more designers to help me with the bigger game. And it was, you could build friendships with Stitch and Dory and Winnie the Pooh and Simba. And it was on the Nintendo DS. And I haven't talked about this at all on TikTok. And, if we get 1,000 followers, maybe I'll start talking about it here. So hit that follow button. But I stopped making video games a while ago because I kind of got bored. Doing the licensed games, like, I kind of figured out what the formula was, and Disney stopped paying us for making games, and I'm a big Disney fan. So I moved back into what I was trained to do, which is user experience design. And I've spent decade and change. I'm not that old, but a decade and change working on user experience design. Half of it was stuff like working on things like Amazon's Alexa. I was one of the early, not first, but like early voice designers for Alexa. So I worked on, I designed Alexa's notification system. So if you get notifications about packages and stuff, hey, I had to design that. I also was the first designer on the Echo Look, which is a now defunct fashion camera that had Alexa enabled, and there's all kinds of stories to unpack about what it's like to be the first designer on a new product, or to start at a company when you don't know what you're working on and then they tell you it's basically the Clueless closet. There's a lot there. I've worked on like Windows Automotive, I've worked on like Cortana, there's a bunch of that stuff, but then I've also worked on a bunch of like super nerdy server stuff. So if you have a Windows computer at work, I've probably worked on the software your computer uses or your company uses to control it remotely. Yeah, so I'm up in your computer controlling all the bits, or something I designed years ago. Whether it's System Center Configuration Manager or Windows Intune, things you've never heard of, but you know, they're in there. And I've worked on, things like I was the design lead for Azure. So those of you who are developers and nerds, you know what that is. And now I work at a big nonprofit you've definitely heard of, and I'm not going to mention here because I don't speak on their behalf. And, they work on things like curing polio and helping with COVID. And my job is to help improve the employee experience as a principal designer running the productivity and collaboration experience design pillar. So that's my day job. Also, I'm an author. And so in December, I released my first book, Design Beyond Devices. There's a subtitle, Creating Multimodal Cross-Device Experiences. But what I tell people who are not in design is this is the design manual for people who want to build the bridge of the Starship Enterprise. Because yes, I am a nerd. I'm also a professional actor, and I spent a decade in a show that was an improvised parody of Star Trek. And there's a Star Trek reference on my cover. Can you find it? Can you find it? Yeah, it's Captain Picard. I mean, it's an abstract Captain Picard, but I told the cover artist that I was inspired by Star Trek and like the LCARS interface, and then Captain Picard showed up. It took me a while to figure that out. I'm just going to say that. And then that's the other thing we're going to talk about is my acting career is I am currently a professional actor and ensemble member at a company called Unexpected Productions based in the Pike Place Market in Seattle. Reason the Gum Wall exists. I'm working on directing my first show, which you can watch. It's going to be streamed on Twitch Live in September 2021, which is already dating this video, but here we are. So if you're interested in finding out how I'm combining game design and, theater and narrative to give the audience a new way to control interactive narrative in real time, you should stay tuned to click the follow button because I'm really excited about that project. And I'm inspired on that project because I was an actor on heavily interactive TV shows with a channel called Hyper RPG. There's 65 episodes of me as a character called Mainframe on show called Shadowrun Corporate Sins, which is based on the Shadowrun universe. So you can find that. It sound like I've just walked out of the Bronx, but I'm playing an angry elf. So you can check that out if you want. There's just hundreds of hours to occupy you. And I've been in a bunch of other improvised like RPG live play TV shows too, but that one was like the one. And I do professional improv, which is a thing you can do. Yes, you can be professional at improv. It's a long story. We can talk about that if you want. So lots of things to talk about. And I'm also disabled. Invisible disability, but not entirely invisible. I've had a lot of surgeries, and you can see my scars hanging out here. I live with something called hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and a couple of other conditions. So I look pretty mobile, and I can run 5Ks, 10Ks, occasional half marathons and stuff. But wonder what just happened. think we're recording. But my computer just stopped. Yeah, we're going to have to cut that out. Well, we're joining back because all the monitors turned off. The joys of trying to do things not on my phone that are not the 60 seconds. Anyway, let's wrap this up. You're here because you came and you might be interested. I've just laid it all out in the line. If any of that interests you and you want to see some of it, comment down below respectfully on what you would like to see. This is going to be a safe space, the Magic Mafia on YouTube. So, comments about appearance or, marriage proposals, sorry, dudes, they're going to get deleted. So, but if you want to be here and be respectful and part of the community, just comment on what of those things we just talked about you'd want to see or hear about first. Is it the book? Is it the acting? Is it the video games? Because I'm doing this to engage with the community and I want to know what the community is interested in. So comment there and make sure you hit the follow button because I'm not going to do it for an empty room. And hopefully we will get enough folks that it's worth resurrecting the TikTok community here and continuing on. And you can always join me, well, except for the Sundays I'm not streaming, on my Twitch channel, FunnyGodmother on Twitch, streaming Sundays 10 a.m. Pacific through 1 p.m. Pacific. The first half hour is like puppetry, talk show thing, because, I didn't have enough things I was doing. And then usually variety streaming gaming, a lot of simulation. I think we're going to be doing a fairly extended playthrough of Battletech because I'm a voice in Battletech, because I'm also a voice actor. Got a lot of sides, folks. So yeah, feel free to join us. I'll be starting that playthrough series at the end of July. So hope to hear from you. And until then, farewell. Keep the magic going.